Welcome.
Welcome to Kaisa
Welcome
Mondays.
back, y'all. Kaisa Mondays. I am turning into a river person.
She's ready for the river. Everyone, we're going on Ashton's float trip number 2, but it's my float trip number 1 of the season. So we got a lot to talk about. We're ready.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I mean, round one went good, minus the air mattress. So I have tweaked things. I think I made things better.
She's a pro.
It's going to be great. Clayton's not coming with us. So I was a little nervous, but luckily everything he bought, I think he figured, if Ash can set this up, anyone can do it. So it should be pretty good. Like literally you're going to laugh when you see our tent because like the sticks like don't even come out. Like you literally just like extend it and lock it.
Whoa.
And it's just like,
good. You can help me with my tent then.
Actually, Dad did tell me. So I drove to Kansas City at like 5 a.m. this morning. And when I got in, I was like, Dad saw my camping stuff in the back. And he was like, oh yeah, you're going to have to help Jordan and Peyton because they would not come over and do a practice round. And I was like, you got to do practice
We were
rounds.
moving, Dad.
I know. I know. You're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
We both have new backgrounds.
Apartment. Yeah. And you can tell my apartment has a lot of crap in it because we just moved. And that's all part of my intro story. So it's a whole ordeal. But yeah, so this weekend we're doing, I guess first things first, we're going on a float trip. It's going to be great. And hopefully we have a friend that was supposed to be Ashton's tent buddy that potentially has COVID. So Ashton may be flying solo, but she has such good energy. She's like, no, I'm going on this. I don't care if I'm sleeping in a tent alone. Like, if anything, Ashton likes being alone. She's like, I love it. And I'm like, that sounds gross.
Well, we were trying to figure out, we're like, is there anyone else like we could ask? And like, your friends I'm friends with, but like, I would feel uncomfortable sleeping in like
stranger, like
confined quarters.
And like, know that well?
You guys that listen, like, I love you guys. You're great. But we can agree, like, that would be strange. So
yeah, it would be, especially when we're going to get really drunk, and then Ashton may be fine just stumbling into her own tent like when she needs to.
I'll be really excited about that. Actually,
she'll be like, "It's time for me to go to bed." And then
I got my air mattress. I got 2 twin air mattresses, so if my friend doesn't come, I got a backup. I brought backup batteries for the fan, so we don't have to blow it up outside of the trunk, which was also humiliating. So yeah, just things are looking bigger and brighter this time.
They're looking up.
Nowhere to go but up, really. When you slept on a rock, there's nowhere to go but up. So.
It can only be better. Well, and you also went with mostly guys, actually really all guys. You had one girl that showed up the day of the float, but
yeah, it was boys.
You were on a full sausage fest last time. At least this time it's pretty even. I think there's just it's really even. There may be one more girl than guy, so it'll be a good mix. Like, and we only have about like 10 people going because like in the past, like the last one we went on was before we all had kids, and I think it was like 15 to 20 of us. It was a lot of people, and it got hectic because there's too many. Try organizing like 15 to 20 drunk people on the river. It's just like, I'm surprised we didn't leave anyone behind. I was prepared to at points, but it didn't happen. So
you're like, I'll see at the end. No, I think this is going to be a good balance between boys trip. And then actually, so I haven't talked to you guys. I haven't talked to my friends. I talked to you, Jordan, since the bachelorette trip that I went on to Charleston, which was like, I had so much fun. Very girly girl, which is so me. But like at one point we went to this bar for dinner. Like, I forget I think we did a beach day during the day, got some drinks, and then we went to dinner at this bar. Everyone ordered a salad. I wanted to cry because I'm like, I can't eat a Caesar salad right now. Like, I want some
I've been
tacos.
drinking. I've been on the beach. Like,
and everyone's like, I'm just so full. I'm like, liar. You're a damn
You're
liar.
lying to yourself.
You're lying to yourself. And so I got tacos and French fries and I had a great time. So I'm excited for this. I mean, and like I said, I had a great time. So much fun, would do it again, but it was just very eye-opening. I'm not a salad girl.
No, I mean, this weekend we're eating good. I think we potentially have 2 dinners planned tomorrow. We're going to go get Mexican on the way and then cook fajitas on the Blackstone. Peyton's bringing the Blackstone. So yeah, you always, and when you're drinking, it's good. Actually, speaking of the salad girl, and you know what, like if you're listening and you are the salad girl, like good for you, but like not me. We went on a double date one time with one of Peyton's friends, and the girl I like, so like we had mutual friends, like we weren't super good friends. And literally for dinner, I mean, sometimes if we're like balling on a budget, I'll be like, can we split? But like most of the time, Peyton's like, we can get our own meals. Like I hate splitting food with you. So we like get our own food. Like we're not splitting. And I think the guy ordered like, he orders cheese dip and food and all this stuff, because like we're like chowing down, like it's Mexican night, whatever. This girl who had never been there with us before literally orders guacamole as her meal. And she was just like,
you told me about this.
It just makes me so full. And I was
like so petite, just like petite fashion.
Just so small. I just couldn't bear another bite.
Just like,
and she didn't finish it either. And I was like, and they were coming to our house afterwards. And I was like, me and Peyton texted me and he said, how long do you think till she's hungry? And I was
you want a
like,
snack?
We were like making bets on it, but she did not eat. She just full on like starved and drank her dinner. Did she
eat it with a spoon or with chips?
No, chips. Obviously that would be even grosser. I would be like,
that's what I was thinking. Oh my God. Just so good. Oh my God.
Isn't that the worst? Like, especially when you're a girl that's like, I mean, if you ask me, like, would I rather have a salad or a cheeseburger? I'm picking a cheeseburger every time. Like, there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
So did you order a salad at your bachelorette party?
No, I got fish tacos and French fries.
Hell yeah. Like, you're like, there's no shame here. I don't feel that shame when everybody else orders a healthy thing. I'm like, okay, good for you, but I'm hungry. So
yeah, I was like, I'm going to be really hungover tomorrow if I don't eat this mountain of fries. We did get nachos and they were huge, but still I'm like, something else.
I mean, there's a difference. Like, I mean, obviously we're sisters, but like when we go out to eat, we're like stealing bites off each other's forks. Like it's like really savage, but we've done it since we were kids. And even still we'll be like, that looks good. Whoop.
Thank you so much. Kidding me? Like the fork is to my mouth and Jordan swoops in. It's honestly really impressive.
And we do it. We like still do it. And it's hilarious. But yeah, no, don't count us as if you're having a party where you're serving like just salads and like fruit, like count me out.
Yeah. Later on in the bachelorette trip, because it was over the 4th of July, I guess, I mean, they were going to have hot dog stands anyway. I don't know why I was like, it's the 4th of July, the only time. But a group of us walked home. No, Jordan, you don't get it. This place is amazing. They got hot dogs. And we're walking home from the bar one night. And I mean, it's a little
She's feeling loosey-goosey.
A little blurry. And I wake up the next morning, I'm like, oh my God, I think I ate a full hot dog in like 5 seconds with like so much ketchup. Oh my God, just the memory of it. Like it tasted so good. She
pulled a Joey Chestnut and just
literally it was gone. And one of the girls and then it kind of started to come back to me like a dream, like a vision. And I remember one of the other girls had dropped her hot dog and she's so upset. And I'm like, you cannot pick that up. Like, you cannot eat that. Like, I can't let you. And she goes to the hot dog man and she's like, I'm so sorry. I dropped my hot dog. And he's like, I'm going to give you another one. Like, you're good. Go home. And then she had a photo shoot with him. Like, I saw all these pictures of her and her new dog. So, it was good balance. It was a balanced trip. So
that's good. Okay. I was like, did you eat salads the whole time or was that just one meal?
No, it was just one meal, but it was shocking because it was like a bar and grill, but it was outside, like on the water. Like it was really pretty. It was super cool. There was like rave music going on and it's like 5 p.m. and we're like, oh my God. So
don't you hate those places? Like and I think that music in general, it's like needs a time and place, but I will drive by people that listen to that all the time. We had people when we were in office that would listen on our headphones and, it's silenced and then they do this and it's like, whoa. And I'm like, oh my God, do you listen to that every day, all day?
Stress me out. Oh my God.
Yes. I'm like, that gives me anxiety. Just like the brief minute I listen to that.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, pass.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, so what else is going on, Ashton? I think you said you had a couple of stories.
I had a Clayton story that happened this week. And I on purpose didn't tell you because I needed your honest reaction. All right. So I think I've talked before on here about how Clayton and I's time in St. Louis is kind of coming to an end. We're going to be moving on to like the next location. I think I'll tease it. I won't tell you guys yet. I'm feeling sassy.
Do you think it leaves them on the edge of their seat? Where is she moving?
Well, I
I
feel
think
like
you
it's a
should
little
leave it.
unsafe to say,
That's fair
yeah,
where
like I'm
you're
gonna
moving
be
to.
in this location. Um, even though I'm already like, yeah, I'm in St. Louis. So Clayton is already there. Like after the 4th, I went on my bachelor trip. He went on another little trip with a friend and then went straight to this new project. And so, and of course, and he came in last weekend for a wedding, and then he's going to be in town like next weekends, and then we move out. And of course, everyone's like, oh my God, you're alone. Like, how's it going? And I'm like, really good. Actually really like living alone. I've never lived alone before because I had roommates in college and then moved straight in with Clayton right after graduation. And so I'm like, those 4 days, granted, it was only 4 days, they were really nice. Like I could make my own whatever I wanted to eat that day, watch whatever I want. Like I didn't have anyone coming home over lunch and bugging me and being like, why can't you hang out with me? I'm like, I have to pay the bills. So it was a good week, but I mean, I was happy to have him in for the weekends for the wedding, and then he stayed through Tuesday. And so while he's there, he's a big worm guy. Like he just does the worm now.
Like I thought when people say that it's like a joke, like it's like a do the worm, but nobody does it, but he does it. Is it like
Unprompted.
unsolicited?
Yeah.
Like no one asked. Okay.
If anything, he asks to do it. Like we were on the little bruise cycle for his birthday, and he asked the guy at the end, he's like, do you think I'd do the worm? And the guy was like, I mean, sure, like don't hurt yourself.
You don't have to ask, they just do it.
Yeah, I think he also likes living alone. Like I think he's gotten weirder, which I like, which is fun, whatever. Quirky. So anyway, before he leaves, we're talking about how like our move out's going to go. Like we're going to have movers come on a certain date. And I was like, oh, I wonder what I have to do through like our leasing office. Like, what does that move out process look like? Like, do I have to deep clean, whatever? And Clayton says, oh yeah, you probably just like will need to like wipe stuff down and like for the shower, take the little scrubby that's in there and just like wipe things down. And like, you should be good, which is interesting because the scrubby is like a shower loofah, like a body
Ew.
scrubby. And I was like, at the time I was like, what a weird thing to say, but like, whatever, like, I'm just thinking out loud. Like, I'll just let it pass. And so he leaves on Tuesday. Yesterday comes and I'm like, oh man, like I'm grabbing dinner and drinks with some friends. Like I need a shower, whatever. And so I'm about to get in and I notice, I'm like, it's like really clean in here. Like it didn't look like this a couple days ago. Weird. And this is like, so this is the gross part. Like, you know, if you were to leave like a shampoo bottle or something sitting in a location in your shower for too long and it gets like that kind of ring around it. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what it is.
I don't know. There's probably a name, but yeah, no, I get what like you kind of got to move it around and rinse the bottle off itself so that
it just gets like
happen.
nasty, like residue, whatever.
Yeah.
That's gone. And I'm like, that's weird. And I text him and I'm like, hey, did you use my body loofah?
The loofah
to like clean the shower? And he doesn't reply for like a couple minutes. And I'm like, hey, well, I need a shower. I just throw it away because I don't trust him. I know I can put the pieces together and I know what's happened. And I'm pissed because I use that shower loofah like every day.
I would have used that on my body.
I was about to use it. And I'm like, thank God I looked around. I would have been scrubbing like who knows what.
Cleaner on my body.
Cleaner on me. Oh my God, I would have a rash. And finally I get out of the shower and I see he text me back. I need to pull it up because it was so funny. Yeah. So I said, did you use the body scrubby to clean the shower? Like 4 question marks. He says, yes, ma'am. Smiley face, all clean. And I reply, that's disgusting. To which he says, I didn't think you used it anymore. And I said, I use it every time.
Why would I not use that?
Yeah. And I was like, so you don't use a body scrubby too? And we live together, dating forever. Maybe it's like I thought we used the same one, which like didn't gross me out.
I guess
not.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, ask your man.
Ask your man what they're using. Peyton is weird. Like now we have separate bathrooms because our apartment has 2 bathrooms.
Ooh.
Immediately he was like, okay, so do you want separate bathrooms? And I was like, am I like a bad person to share a bathroom with? But maybe it's because I'm a girl and I have like, there's always like I'm shedding hair, and there's hairbrushes and nail polish, and like, the guys' bathroom is like 4 items, like total, like it's just,
If
so
that, they have like their 7-in-1.
that's true. It's like, what
They're
are the
like, it's
other
just
5?
one bottle on the ground, no shelves.
Yeah, it's like shampoo, conditioner, body wash, also a degreaser, also a weed killer, also like it's like,
Oh my God. Whoa. That's so funny.
So he does. So now you're suspicious. Were you ever using a scrubby? Maybe now, is he a bar of soap kind of guy? Because occasionally Peyton will get into like using a bar of soap instead of a loofah.
Yeah, we don't really use a bar of soap. I think he straight up is just like putting it in his hands
and then
just like rub it all over. I did get like a little body scrub that he has used. And I know when he uses it because I can smell it, and I'll smell his shoulder and I'll be like, you use soap today. Or like, did you use the body scrubbing? He's like, yeah. Like, you have to reward good behavior. I realize.
Yeah.
So yeah. So he's like, oh, I didn't know you were using the loofah. And I'm like, if I wasn't using it, why would I keep it? Also, why would you clean the shower with it and hang it back up? Throw it away.
Like, do you not have rags at home or like cleaning anything?
No, we do. And we have a bunch of paper towels. And so eventually he calls me and he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know you used that. Like, and I was like, why did you keep it? Like, I'm still angry about this because it's so weird. And he's like, well, I figured next time I came in town, I would just like wipe it down again. And I'm like, use a paper towel. Like,
we have more towels. Like, you could have used another one. You don't have the same one weeks later. Like, what?
Anything else? I'm like, that's so gross. Also, like, I have
God.
a little like scalp massager hanging up there. And I'm like, so it's just going to touch whatever that is, the grime. I was so, yeah.
Like, you appreciate the help. Like, he was definitely came from a good place. It just was like not
the brain cells
like
weren't there.
The logistics of all of it didn't really match up.
Like the common sense. He's very smart. But yeah, so in some instances, I'm just like, why are you the way that you are? So I figured you would appreciate that because I'm like, how disgusting.
We talk about this all the time. Like when Peyton or Clayton do things that I'm like, why doesn't he think? Like, he just didn't think, Yeah, that happens often. Yeah. So it's okay.
Drives me nuts, but that's okay.
I need to write more stuff down, like, because Peyton does stuff that I'm like, what? But lately,
why would you do that?
He's been lately, because we just moved, right? And I appreciate that he really is proud. Like, he's like, it's a fresh start. Like, he like really likes the apartment. And we honestly moved in here sight unseen because like they just didn't have a model to show us. And so we really didn't know we were walking into, but he really likes it, like the layout and stuff. He is all about hanging stuff. I think like every day this week, he just hangs things. Sometimes like, I'm like, maybe not there. Like, it's just like, a guy hanging stuff and you're kind of like, that doesn't make any sense.
The pictures you sent me were so funny.
Yeah. Like one was very clearly not center, but now that I said something, he's very on it. But like, he put like this one, it's like, a wine rack thing. You put bottles and then you hang like glasses underneath.
Yeah.
So it should go on a wall where you could like fit those, right?
It's like room.
He put it under the where the sink is. He put it above the sink and there's a cabinet there. Like, you cannot fit the bottles, but he was already halfway through and I didn't have the heart. So I told my friends about it and they were like, maybe you just like buy a bottle of wine and just be like, could you put this in there? And then he'll be like, oh my God, I messed up.
And you're like, I knew that was going to happen.
He was just on a roll and I didn't have the heart to be like, you messed this up.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Oh yeah. So now I have to, because he has done so much work. Like, I feel so bad critiquing. It's just like, he's working so hard. He's just like, it forgets things in some places. So we have to be strategic. So,
yeah. I've totally given up on until we find a place that we want to settle down in. Like, if we're only going to be somewhere for a year, like, I have given up on the home decorating, on the interior design. Like, we have had this rug and I've told Clayton, like, I don't like the rug. Like, I hate the rug. And when I first told him that when we first moved to Oregon, he was like, but I picked out this rug. And I'm like, yeah. And my feelings don't change. So
And like you've had that
we
rug
still
for like
have
3
it.
or 4 years now. I think you can let go of the rug.
And now it's like gross. Like it's like
Yeah.
seen
Oh,
better
speaking of
days.
rugs, that's a weird thing Peyton did. You know, like there's different kinds of rugs for different areas. Like, you know, you have
Yeah.
ones that are like shaped for toilets or ones that are like meant to go outside the shower. And then like there's those long ones that would go down like a hallway.
Yeah.
He got that for his bathroom. And like he's like,
Does it
"Look,
take up like
takes up-"
literally the whole floor?
Yeah, I mean it is pretty long. Like the bathroom is pretty big, but it's just like it fits. It doesn't make any sense in the space because it's like
clearly
this.
a hallway, and is like the material weird?
Yeah, like it's like shag. Like it's like
Gross.
like-
Oh my God.
I'm like, you know what? It's their bathroom. It's fine. And he also hung. This was like I know because he's never gonna listen to this. He hung a full mirror. Like, you know, you have your bathroom mirror. And then he hung on the opposite wall another full mirror.
So he can see the front and the back of his head.
Well,
Jordan.
it's because he shaves his head, right? Because he's been going bald. So he shaves his head now. And he's like, look, I can shave the back of my head now. And I'm like, why not?
How were you doing it before?
He would come to me and say, did I miss anything? And it would be like so patchy. And I would be like, yeah, let me fix that.
Yeah, you look good.
So,
oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, so he literally was so proud of this. So he could shave the back of his head all in one area.
He is going to lose his mind. So for boys that listen, every girl knows, oh, if you do your hair, you take your personal mirror and you like turn around and you angle it so you can see the back of your head. Like it's very easy.
You're
gonna blow his mind.
I've explained this and he's like, yeah, but then I have to do this and use the razor. Now it's all in one place. And I'm like, but when anyone walks into that bathroom, they're going to be like, why do they have 2 mirrors that are the same
That is so
size?
funny.
It
That's so
looks
funny.
weird. Like it's like a weird, like freaky thing or something. And I'm like,
so where his bathroom is located, I'm assuming is your
So
your bathroom connected to the master?
Yeah. I have
Okay.
the
So say
master.
when you have company over,
They go to his.
they use his and they're like, excuse me?
This hallway rug and this full size mirror.
It's going to be pretty clear. Like, oh, this is his bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh my
he
gosh.
hung like he's a big like hat guy because he's bald, has his hats in there and stuff. And I'm like, why don't you put them in the closet? Again, his bathroom, not my business. So whatever.
It's okay. I'm still trying to get rid of the fraternity t-shirts.
They need
Because
to go.
yeah, I'm like, Clayton, I'm like, the movers will come and like pack stuff up, but like, we just need to go through our clothes and like, and he's like, when am I gonna have time to do that? And I'm like, you're so right. I'll just do it for you. And I'll just get rid of everything I don't like. And he knew my plan. He's like, no, you're going to get rid of all my fraternity jerseys and shirts. And I'm like, yeah, you're 27.
When are you going to wear that? When are you going to wear that?
He does all the time. As like, anytime he gets a chance to wear a tank top, I was complaining so much. He finally bought some new little Nike tank tops that are very cute. And now again, have to reward good behavior. I'm like, you look so good in that tank top. You look so handsome. And he's like, and he again knows, he's like, you just like it because it's not my hoops for troops jersey.
Hoops for troops. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And
Actually,
you're like,
I
at
had
this point, it's so old. Go ahead.
I had a funny story. I don't know if I'll keep this in, but I wanted to tell you anyway. So, and I mean, like, as much as I crap on Clayton, I will fight anyone and everyone for him. Again, like with all my friends, like if anyone's talking trash about my friend, I'm like, hey, back up.
I'm allowed to make fun of him, but you are not allowed to make fun of him. Let's just make that clear.
No. And so we go to this wedding. And like, I want to say, like, he was one of like the best dressed guys there. I think like he wore his little suit and like very cute. Like I thought he was rocking it. And it was one of these suits that he had bought in college. And like at the time he was like, oh my gosh, like these are nice suits. Like it's definitely an investment. But again, like 5 years later, he wears them all the time. So we go to this wedding, he's wearing a suit, looks so cute. He's talking to someone and he's like, oh yeah, like I got the suit in college. And this person says, yeah, I can tell, which I'm like, excuse me. It's kind of rude. Weird. And I guess this person went on to say like, oh yeah, like you can't even button it. And I'm like, that is so rude to say to someone.
Oh
Like,
my gosh. And like, why would anyone say that? Like, it's just not, it doesn't make any sense.
no, and just so rude. And so when he told me this, I immediately, and I was like a bottle of wine in, and I was like, who said that? No. I was like, you look amazing. Like you are killing it in that suit. And like, yes, you can button it. And like, it looks so good. And he did the worm in it. So it wasn't too tight.
Impressed.
And I was like, you know what, Clayton, I would rather you have a suit that fits you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little snug than like you look like an old man in old baggy pants and a suit that's too big.
Yes, you can't be in a baggy pantsuit. Like you can always tell the guy that like he bought his suit at, Walmart, or the guy that bought his suit at like, Macy's or like, something.
Yeah, the pants are so big when they're too big. Like looks
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
So.
Oh, well, that's too bad because you're right. It's like you're allowed to make fun of them, but like no one else. That's not cool. That's not
Well,
okay.
and even still, I would never, ever make fun or poke fun at how someone like looks like size wise. Like I would, if it's something that they can't fix in 5 seconds or something that they can't control. Okay, that's off limits. Like, why are you even thinking about that? Why are you even talking about that?
Thank you. Like, and I think guys are harder on each other than girls. Like, because I've seen Peyton and his friends do this, like make fun of the way each other look, or like some guys put on weight or something. They're like, dude, you've gotten fat. And I'm like, I don't care that you guys are guys. Like, that's still mean. Like, that's not okay. Like girls,
yeah,
I would never be like, Ashley, you've gotten kind of fat. Like, you would be like, are you kidding me?
I
like,
would cry.
That's not funny. Like,
it's not funny. Yeah. And I guess that's true. Like Clayton was like, Ashton, like, it's fine. Like, don't say anything. It's like, whatever. But I'm like, no, someone doesn't get to point out something that could be an insecurity. Like, that's not funny.
That's absolutely true. Like, I think you're right. It's just like one of those situations where, some people maybe should think before they like talk. I don't know.
Yeah. Some people definitely should. Anyway, so that's not related. How was your moving?
It was terrible.
Tell you that because I forgot about it.
It was awful. Yeah. So the reason why we didn't have an episode last week is really not my fault. You can thank all my sons moving. They're nationwide, so don't use them. They had great reviews. I had friends use them. Like, so we were like, oh, it's going to be great. And honestly, this was my fault. So I had gotten asked to second shoot for a wedding, shoot photography for a wedding. Mm-hmm. That's weekend in St. Louis. So like, I was like, okay, you know what? We move Thursday. I should be able to help unpack somewhat Friday, head to St. Louis, and then I'll be back Sunday. And so on Thursday, we're prepped to move. We're doing our thing. We're like ready to go. And the movers are supposed to be there between 11 and 2. 11 o'clock rolls around, noon rolls around. 2:15 rolls around. I'm like, I've not heard a peep out of these people. So I called the office and they were like, yeah, the move's taking a little bit longer than expected. So they should be there by 3. And then it's like 4, still not there. And I was like, what the hell? Sure enough, I call them and I'm like, look, like I'm losing hope that you guys are going to be here today. Like, what's the deal? And I have everything lined up. I just need to know if I'm having to stay here tonight or whatever. And they were like, okay, what's the, like, is there an option for you all to move tomorrow? And I was like, I mean, luckily we're selling to family. So like I can call them and make sure they don't have movers scheduled and stuff. So they end up moving us to Friday. Well, I leave Friday night for St. Louis. So this is a complete cluster. So we're like, have to unpack some of our stuff because we're staying there for the night or whatever. It was horrible. So that's why we didn't record, because we were supposed to record on Friday, but then I ended up having to move Friday. So that's why you didn't get an episode. So you can thank all my sons moving out of Kansas City, Missouri, and never use them ever. So
thanks a lot.
Okay. So news time. Ash, do you want to go first?
Yes, I can go first.
All right, let's do it.
This one was very interesting to me. And I hope we don't have the same one because it reminded me of you. So,
oh no.
So bad news. America has crabs. That's why it reminded me of you. I'm just kidding. No, but apparently, and this is from NPR. So apparently there's a species of crab called like a green crab, and they're super invasive and they have like totally taken over North America. And like they've been around for a while, since the 1800s. They are like super terrible, destroying fish habitats. Like, we got to get these suckers out of here. And so, to help raise awareness for this issue, Tamworth Distilling out of New Hampshire is using the green crabs to create a crab whiskey. You heard that correct.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so somehow, like, they're taking the crabs and they're like, we prepare them like how you would, like, we clean them, prep them how you would to like actually eat a crab. Cause I'm like, that sounds really gross. I don't know anything about the process, like how they get,
fishy
how they take
whiskey.
a crab into whiskey. And apparently, um, they're like, if you like try it, like it's actually pretty good. But I'm like, does it taste like a crab leg?
Or can you
like,
imagine like whiskey is very harsh anyways, and then you add fish to that? It's just like
that sounds like the my nightmare hangover drink.
Oh my God,
that
can you
terrible.
imagine? Oh no.
Yeah.
And who is thinking of these ideas? Because I have
whiskey girl.
because I like whiskey, but I don't have crabs.
Oh,
for the record, I don't have crabs. Just so everyone knows.
Debatable. Debatable. Sorry, what were you saying?
It is. I was gonna say that is like our ongoing joke. Like anytime we Ashton has crabs. Like
you said that the Bachelor League, and I was like, I'm gonna change my name to I have crabs. I don't have crabs, Mom.
Yeah, that's not related, but we do have a league for the Bachelor. We're doing fantasy league for the Bachelor. So, and Ashton should name her name. Ashton has crabs. You could take that out if you want. But yeah, I don't. So I want to know who thought of this and how did this idea come up? Was this like a couple guys sitting around stoned, like eating some crab cakes that were just like, oh, you know what? We should mix whiskey and crabs.
You know, it would be sick. Yeah. And they're
what
like,
a dude idea. Like
so weird. And even in the article, they're like, obviously, like there's so many of these crabs, like one distillery is not solving the problem, but they're like, nah, we're raising awareness, man. Which I'm like, okay, go off.
Oh God. Someone
I don't know what else we're supposed to do.
These men need to be tamed. Let's just put it that way.
They're crab whiskey. Yeah. I just have to know, like, does it taste like seafood?
It'll probably have a good jump in sales just because it's so weird and people want to try it. And then when it sucks, it's gonna,
and then the crabs win.
And then the crabs still won at the end of the day.
Yeah, that was my weird news.
I like
so
that.
Strange.
Okay, so my news, I got it from AP News. A California woman fakes cancer, forges notes to avoid prison. So this woman in California, she was sentenced for embezzlement. She had embezzled over like $160,000 from her former employer, which like the balls to do that. So she got caught and she was getting sentenced for it. And so essentially she was submitting like false documents to the judge saying that she had cancer and that she can't be exposed. Notes? Yeah, like forging them saying she had COVID or she had cancer, so she can't be exposed to COVID. So like she was trying to avoid.
Oh my God.
So yeah, she was claiming that she had a biopsy and they found cancerous cells in her uterus. Another indicated that she was going under surgery and her cancer had spread. And then another, she's basically saying that she can't be exposed to COVID because she's in such a fragile state. But federal officials like investigated and they found that the notes about cancer were all fake. And now she is heading to prison for 3 times as long.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that insane? So these notes then bought her an additional 3 months of freedom, or initially, but then it just extended her sentence 3 times what it would have been. So, because like, I think anytime there's any sort of crime, like the punishment is between X and X, right? So maybe they were going to give her a lighter sentence, but then now you just pissed off a judge because you've been pushing this out so long. So like now they're like, okay, you tried to lie. Now you're getting like the maximum. So I thought that was just funny.
Yeah. Oh, hello,
you can't lie about cancer. Hello.
Dad's look at me through the window. That's crazy. Yeah. She lying about cancer. Never good.
Which all morally is horrible. Like, let's just put it that way. And then like, I mean, you messed up. And I want to know a backstory about how she embezzled $160,000 from her employer. That's a great question. Hello, is Dad there?
Yeah, Dad's here. Okay,
Does
bye.
He say hi? No.
No. His lips are sealed shut. You want to speak so bad.
All right. So stories for the week.
Yes. Okay. Sweet. I can go first. So I found mine on TikTok, and it's from this girl. Her username is Annie K. Schaefer. And so in this story, she starts with, so she used to work at a car dealership as a salesman when she was like 18, like fresh out of high school. And she like admittedly, like she was terrible. She's like, I like didn't sell any cars. Like I didn't know anything about cars, like could not do well at this job. And so I guess every week they would always have these like huge team meetings of like all their salespeople. There's like 50 people. And this one guy that she worked with was super annoying, which I feel like we all have those people, or we all have worked with
we're
people.
all thinking of it. We're all
thinking of someone that we know that you wish you could just like
snap
at them or lip off at them, but you know, like that's not allowed. So during this meeting of like 50 people, this really annoying coworker raises his hand, and the general manager is like, hey, like, okay, like, do you have a question? And this guy says, I just wanted to let everyone know that I get most of my customers from our service department. Like, okay, cool. Good for you. That wasn't a question. And this girl telling the story, she says, wow, that's really interesting because I get most of my customers from your mom's bed, which is why I haven't sold a car yet, because they're too used to things that are cheap. Slay. Yeah. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, everyone starts laughing. Like even the general manager is laughing because like everyone hates this guy.
And they're like, he's annoying. Like,
yeah. And it's like, they're used to cheap things. Sorry. Like your mom's bed. And so and she's 18, very 18-year-old response. And so a few hours go by and she gets called into the GM's office, and he tells her like, hey, that comment you made, it is sexual harassment, and we're going to have to suspend you for 3 days, and we're going to have to like investigate you for sexual harassment. And she's like, okay. She had already been like interviewing around and had found a new job. So she's like, I really don't care about this. Like, I'm out of here anyway. And she says, she's like, I was really inspired by Jerry Maguire and the scene where he quits. And she's like, I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to give a speech like that. And she's like, what, there's no better time than this, which I've never seen the movie. Actually, I looked up the scene.
It's great.
After reading this, and I was like, oh my God, like I totally understand what she was saying now. So she's like, we didn't have a fish tank in the office, but her general manager had this giant plant in his office. And so she says she takes this plant and she goes out like into the main lobby floor. Yeah. Where like all the other salespeople are. And she has this plant and she's like going off. Like, she's like, who's coming with me? And she starts pointing to people and be like, we don't need them. They need us. Like, who's coming with me? And of course, like, she's like, I don't care. Like, I'm leaving anyway. And so she leaves. And like a little while later, like 4 of the salespeople call her and they're like, oh my God, like, we cannot believe you stole the plants and that you did that.
Oh, she took the plant with her.
Yeah, no, she took this plant, like, cause he takes the fish. She's like, we didn't have a fish. I have to do this. But yeah, I was dying when I watched that TikTok.
That's amazing. She was like, what a way to go.
I was 18. I'd never do it again. No one ever do this, but she's like, I didn't care. I was moving on. So.
Oh my God. That's amazing. Like, if I were to quit a job though, and you know what? I've had past jobs that like, I could have quit in a really funny way and I didn't, because I was like, I'm going to need this on my resume. I did not need Home Depot or a barbecue restaurant on my resume. Like, turns out I could have stolen a rack of ribs and said, I'm out of here.
Who's coming with me? And I'm taking the ribs.
Come on.
Oh my God. The ribs are coming with me. Yeah. So funny.
I love the plant. Like, and he was probably like, that was an expensive plant.
He's like that. And she was like, this plant was massive. Like, it was, I'm imagining her having to like lug it out of there.
You come on.
Come with me. Yeah. Too good.
Wow. I love it at 18 to have that like sense of like, this doesn't matter. Well, is amazing.
She's like, this is not my career. Like, this is just a job that I'm terrible at that I want to leave anyway. So, but yeah, I love it. She goes from being under sexual harassment investigation to giving the Jerry Maguire speech. Pretty good.
And especially like, because she had to think of that on the spot, like, I'm going to quit and I'm going to do, as he's talking, she's scheming and she's like, now's the time. I have to do it right now.
She
And
probably
she
had
did
to
it.
quit anyway. She probably had to put in her 2 weeks anyway because she's like, I found this new job. So, but yeah.
What a perfect time.
What a
For my
perfect
Jerry
time.
Maguire speech.
Oh my God. So funny.
I love that. Oh my God. Well, that's good. I find really good ones from TikTok. So this
I found
one
a couple in my.
is someone I know, though. It's a real wedding story, I heard.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
and I got permission from my photographer friend to tell it. So are you
Okay.
ready? Are you
I'm
ready?
so excited.
Okay. So my photographer friend, she's a wedding photographer, been in the business like 10, 20 years, a long time. So she's been in this a long time. She's seen everything. So I'm like, give me some stories. I need some stories for my podcast. And she was like, oh, girl. She's like, we can go on and on. So she said, so here's one of my favorite ones. So it was a typical Catholic wedding. And with Catholic weddings, it's a much longer day than like if you're all at one place, just because you have the transportation to the church and then other places. So this bride and groom, this bride, they really wanted they rented a Rolls Royce for her to pull up to the church in. And it's her and her dad, the photographer and the driver. And she's in the front seat, my photographer friend. And she's like, the bride insisted that the photographer be in the Rolls Royce with her, just because they spent a lot of money on this car. Like they really want to like embrace it. They're big car people.
Yeah.
So in doing that, it kind of created a lot of hassle, just in the sense that she had to, because she literally wanted to pull up at the church, like when it's time for her to walk down the aisle, and then literally walk down the aisle. So, she needs another photographer to make sure she's getting like the other wedding party walking down the aisle. So like, there was a lot of coordination involved in this. So big deal. And the thing is, like, a lot of people don't understand about churches. When you do a church wedding, you have this very set time, because they have in the afternoon, they do like confessionals, and then they may do a night service and stuff like that. So you don't get this big all day window like you do at other venues. So hitting the time is really important. So that's a really good, like, prep to the story. So they're in this Rolls Royce and they literally have to time this perfectly. It's very, very much like a hassle. They're on like the Paseo or somewhere like not a great part of town.
Yeah.
And in this rented Rolls Royce or whatever, and they get hit, like they get in a car accident. Yeah. And it hits the photographer's side. And
oh my God,
and she's just like, oh my God. Well, first, like of course, like she's like, are you okay? Is everyone okay? Or whatever, and then like, even the bride is like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like, cause it got hit on her side, and she's like in wedding mode. Like, she's like, no, we're good. Like,
she's like, I need a neck brace, but I'm fine.
They get in this car accident, and, like, luckily everybody's fine. It's okay or whatever. And then the driver's even like, oh, shucks, man. Like, and, he didn't like call to send another car, like nothing else. And she's like, we need to get to the wedding. We're literally supposed to be there in like 5 minutes. Like, this is insane. So she was like, so I'm like I'm panicking, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, what do we do? So she's like, what is the best way to get this arranged before we so she gets a hold of the groom, because she's like, I'm not telling the mother of the bride. I'm not telling any of these people before we have
they're going to freak out. Yeah.
So she gets hold of the groom, and it's just like, okay, we've been in a car accident. We are supposed to be there in 5 minutes. Can you get someone that's not the parents, like anyone that's maybe just like not in the wedding party, whatever, that can just come get us and bring us there, just so this church doesn't get pissed off at us? Like, very like, keep this smooth or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so, so it actually ended up, they go ahead and send cars or whatever and stuff and everything.
Were they like, who has the nicest car?
Yeah. Like, I mean, that was out the window. They were just, let's just get here.
It's a Honda Civic. It's a forest green Honda Civic.
It was just a nightmare, because they were like, it was just a mess. And so they ended up sending someone to come get them and stuff, or whatever. But I'm like, what if this poor bride has whiplash or something on her honeymoon? That's my follow-up questions. But like,
true.
They end up sending somebody. The ceremony starts like 45 minutes late. And like, oh yeah, and when you have a wedding day, as like, even 30 minutes is a big deal to be off. Like, there's certain wiggle rooms, but like, there's not that much wiggle room.
Almost an hour. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So Yeah, can you believe that? So
Oh my
yeah,
God,
so
that's
she ended
terrible.
up getting to the wedding on time, but like I was just like, this is such a crazy story because imagine spending all that money on on a Rolls Royce to rent it to bring you to your wedding day, and you get in a car accident on the way there.
In like
Can you imagine?
one of the worst parts of town. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's what I was
God.
gonna say. It's a very not good part of town for someone that's in like a very like elaborate dress and like well,
Mhm.
in this car, it's like she's in a poofy dress, so it's like literally taking up the entire back seat. Like it's like this
Yeah.
whole ordeal. So then, of course, she said the car that shows up is like a Prius, and they're having to like shove her in this.
Okay. Yeah.
So she was like, luckily after the accident, even she kind of made a photo shoot out of it. Her and her dad in the back seat, and like they're kind of laughing and like having a
Oh,
good time.
good. Okay.
No, like, and I know her, and she like is one to make best out of a bad situation.
Absolutely.
But, like,
Yeah.
it's still so funny. Like, I was just like, what are the odds that like it's your wedding, it's supposed to be the best day of your life, and something like that happens? Like, it's just, but what a way to roll with the punches. That's why I tell any bride, hopefully
Yeah.
you'll get married once, but
Once.
you know, hopefully, but you know, here, like I always say that it's like, you know, try your best to like, things are going to go wrong. And this is the prime
Mhm.
example of stuff goes wrong. It just happens. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so
Oh my
maybe
God.
don't rent a Rolls Royce. Maybe just do the normal thing. I don't know.
Yeah, or just like fake it, like have the car there, just get in like for 5 minutes and then like get out, like
Leave.
don't risk it. Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah. Isn't that wild? So yeah, so that was my story for the week.
Wow, that was really good. I love
Isn't that
like
crazy?
behind the scenes wedding stories. Like they're so fun.
Wild. I know. So yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have a couple. I just, you know, these are like my clients, so I can't go too in depth sometimes. But this, I got permission. This was someone else. So I
Yeah,
could
someone
totally-
else. Oh my God, that was so good. That was so
Yeah.
crazy.
I know.
Wow.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have for this week. I think we
Yeah.
gotta start packing and get ready for our float trip. So
Yes. Oh, everyone listening, if you could vote for Jordan, what is it? The pick?
the pitch.
The
The
pitch.
pitch KC, best of KC 2022 for best wedding videographer. Go vote, go nominate me, vote for
For
me.
Darby
Also-
Studios.
Yes, Darby Studios Photo and Film. Also, please go nominate Case of the Mondays podcast for best local podcast. Thank you.
Sweet. Thanks for listening, guys. And we'll see you next Monday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.